Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of I Do a Thing with Computing. And in today's episode, we're going to be doing a bit of a random desk video of unscripted variety because I'm kind of excited. I was too excited to write a script for this one, but I want to do this no matter what. So here we go. So what we're looking at here is my old laptop. This has been my machine for 12 years. It is a Toshiba Satellite C875, and as you could hear by that not very happy plasticky sound, this machine isn't really that happy. It is old. It's 12 years old, and being a Toshiba consumer laptop, it is they used kind of garbage plastics. And if you know anything about Toshiba's machines back in those days, they didn't do a really good job on it, and this is why they eventually left the industry in like 2019. It's kind of sad. But I've been using this for the entirety of the past while. It's so big that it's insane, which is kind of why it broke on me. But yeah, a couple of years ago I started using Linux on it and have found a use for it again. Originally it came with Windows 8, and it was like one of the first. In fact, let's close it back down again. I have to really be very weird about closing it because it's like, it's broken. But as you can see, early Windows 8, it's a bit of a relic of it. And why I kind of kept using it for this long is because of what's under that hatch. It's got RAM, it's got an SSD, and you got your battery cartridge stuff. And of course, you can see evidence of the plastics being a bit too brittle, because look at what happened to the CD drive on this. Yeah, it just screams cheap, and yeah, and unfortunately that's how this thing failed. So, and of course with it being kind of summer break for me and having a break from college and all that in my real life, I kind of need, and me wanting to go and do traveling, I kind of wanted a machine that was actually worth its weight in anything. And when I found that Framework was doing a bit of a deal on their old 11th gen 13-inch models, I had to snatch it up. I just had to. So what we've got here is a Framework 11 gen 13-inch model, DIY edition, very DIY edition, as you will soon see. And yeah, it's going to be replacing this old thing. For those of you who aren't in the loop, Framework is kind of a new company in the whole laptop industry, and their whole thing is making machines that are built to last. Let's unbox this one, and right off the bat, you'll see, although you can't really feel it, this was made with actual like aluminum and all that. You can see the whole shiny end and all that, when my old machine was all just plastic and all that. It's actually built for this purpose. It's perfect for that. In fact, it might even be causing glare for some of you viewers. So yeah, it's very interesting. And the whole point of these is that despite not looking like it on the outside, it is perfectly upgradable. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to put in the parts for it because it doesn't come with it. So that was kind of part of the deal. And yeah, I mean, it is so designed to be taken apart. They give you the screwdriver. You're supposed to take it apart to get it ready. Oh, and did you look at that? It's a really nice screwdriver. It's kind of plasticky, but yeah, there we go. So let's get this thing back together, or get this thing built. All right, so there we go. So I've kind of unboxed it, and yeah, it's a really nice machine. It reminds me of the MacBook that I have. It's very similar, but it's upgradable. It's a very nice machine. But first, let's get inside of it and get all the parts in it. For what we're gonna do, we needed 3 parts to go inside. So we have RAM, SSD, and Wi-Fi. We needed all 3 of those things, and of course, and we need to get those in it. And more importantly, you may have noticed that there's like almost complete lack of ports on here. And that's where these things come in. These are expansion cards. They have they just give you your ports, and it's just the coolest stuff I've ever seen. So I could say, like, well, I don't need Ethernet today, so I removed the Ethernet. That is the coolest thing ever. So let's get this apart to get it back together. All right. So I mean, this machine is so easy to open that they give you the literal tutorials for it. I had an idea of how it would work because it's kind of similar to from what I've seen from my actual previous laptop, but at least they let you do it. Alright, so that's all the inside parts installed. So now, case of closing it up very carefully, and oops, ready. And now, all I've got to do is insert my emergency Linux flash drive, and we'll get it started. Now, unfortunately, because I need this for a few things on Windows, I do actually need to install Windows first because I'm going to dual boot it. So now that we've installed the OS that I don't really like all that much, let's go in and install the OS that I like quite a bit, and that is Linux. Alright, so it's been about a month. I forgot to film Linux actually being installed because I just cut it off as at the step where I have to set my password and all that. Anyways, so it installed. In fact, it was probably the fastest install I've ever had. Only hurdle really was that the scaling wasn't right because screens and stuff. But anyways, so it's been installed. The reason why I've been holding on to this video and why everything's been so on the back burner and why I haven't even posted in about a month is all because I've been traveling. And one small issue that this thing has that I don't think will be that big an issue to many, but is kind of one for me and is probably going to get fixed in the next while. One thing is that it did not like my camera, this camera that I'm currently filming this on. I don't know what's up with it, but every time I try to import it through the USB port, it would just try to mount it, and then the camera's USB whatever would just reset. I'm not sure what's up with that, but it did that. I don't know why, but you know what? It happened. But even worse, I forgot like half of the footage and left all the footage of me building this back at home, so it's like I cannot make this video. And of course, I'm like, I've got so much other stuff to get on with, because at that time I was dealing with so many other things. With all that squared away, we now have a good machine, but now I also have a bit of a month of extra testing that I did on this thing, and testing it out for travel and all that. I will say, it's a pretty excellent machine. It's the right size for what I need, but it's a pretty good machine for doing what I need it to do. I'm just going to do a bit of an impromptu review of it. Complete 10 out of 10. There are some issues with it, but it looks like they're rectifying it. With that being said, that's it for today's episode. If you like what you saw, there's a like button and a subscribe button.
You don't have to press it, but it would definitely help out the channel if you did. This is a random channel, but we are going to be making a lot of videos that mostly center around tech and gaming, so if you're really interested in that, there's going to be more. There's some things that I want to individually review. In fact, let me just get it ever so slightly in shot here. I'm just going to kind of give you this blurry little image. We are going to be doing another audio equipment review because of another issue I had with this thing, but it's an issue with like every laptop that's been made in the last 5-10 years or so. But anyways, there's also going to be a lot of content for gaming and all that, and you might want to stick around for some of that. Now, with that being said, that's it for today's episode, and bye.